We all have a story of life, a journey that we've gone through. And all our stories, they look different, they sound different, but I know in life we all go through big changes. We go through big events that change us. We can call it trauma, we can call it suffering, we can call it struggle, but I know as humans we all experience it, and we can either learn how to grow from it or we can let it drown us. We can let it take us under and rule over our life, rule over our experiences and emotions. And I know how easy that is, because I let that happen. But I know within my own journey, within all of my experiences, I always kept faith or hope that it would get better. I always would tell myself without the rain there would be no rainbows, and bigger the rain, bigger the rainbow. So I always had this kindle of hope that no matter what I was going through, that there was going to be brighter days. Trust me, brighter days always come. But when those brighter days come, sometimes we can be stuck in that past emotion that we can't even accept or appreciate those brighter days. We are so enraptured by this state of suffering that we can't see the beauty that is present. And within suffering or struggle or trauma, whatever word you want to use, we can have the mindset of understanding what it is there to teach us. Maybe it is teaching us a lesson about our boundaries. Maybe it is teaching us a lesson about strength. Maybe it's pushing us into a direction that we never would have taken if this didn't happen. So understanding that whatever's happening is happening for your highest good. And to know that it will pass, as everything passes. The emotions, the hurt, it will pass. Just like happiness passes within big experiences. All emotions come and go like waves. And it's not clinging on to those waves or emotions. It's allowing them to pass through you. And allowing life to happen for you. Sometimes we can get stuck in the victimhood and the question, why me? Why is this happening to me? Why is this happening right now in life? In our external field, those questions of the why. But sometimes we'll never know why it happened. Sometimes it just happens for us to grow. And we could put any story behind it, but as long as we grow through it, is the real power within suffering and struggle. Because we can stay victim to a circumstance, or we can be a survivor. We can be a warrior and walk through it and have that awareness of that power and understanding that we can then share with others. Because you have a deeper state of compassion then. Because you've gone through something that has created struggle. And it deepens that awareness of understanding, of life, of people, of emotions. And I think that is powerful when you can connect and relate to people who have gone through something big. Because you have the capacity to understand, because you've been through something big as well. And having that awareness that you can make a difference with what you've gone through, allowing it to be a new understanding of life, a new understanding of people and emotions. Not staying stuck in it, and always asking for help when you need it. I was always so afraid to ask for help. I was afraid to let anyone in. I was so scared that people were just always going to hurt me, that I kept my walls so big. And I remember one day someone gave me a hug and they said, "Let me in," because they could feel how high my walls were. And that wasn't serving me, because I was dealing with all of these emotions, all of these thoughts, and it weighed me down, because to be honest, I didn't know how to handle it all. It would engulf me. It would affect me in such big ways that I would drown within these emotions. But when I started to bring my walls down, when I started to communicate to people about my emotions, it took the weight off me, because I then felt like I wasn't in it alone anymore, that people understood where I was coming from. Instead of suppressing it or rejecting it or denying it, I now embrace it as a part of my journey, as a part of my strength. And I allow people in to support me through those emotions, because when I ask for that support, when I bring those emotions to the surface, they are held in such a loving way, because people value vulnerability, especially the right people, the people who can understand where vulnerability comes from, because it's a strength in itself to be vulnerable. Not many people are vulnerable anymore. They don't want you to see their emotions. They don't want you to see that they're human. But in a world full of AI now and all of these things out there that are artificial, being vulnerable, being authentic is one of the most renewing things people can experience. And they appreciate it. They love to see people vulnerable. And we've suppressed things for too long. We've been taught and conditioned to not feel, to just push and push and push. That's what the 9 to 5 is. We just push and push and push until we can't do it anymore. And I don't want to live that sort of life of pushing myself until I break, until I crumble, until I can't do it anymore. So I soften, I be vulnerable, I'm open, and I share my experience, because for me and for others, that experience of my past, of my suffering, of my struggle, it's inspiring. People can sometimes relate to it, and it fuels them to step forward and create meaning out of it. Because I never let myself become less than what I knew inside me was my truth. I definitely struggled, but I always knew that there was a power in me that would make it through. So I learnt from that power how to fuel it. I learnt how to nourish my nervous system. And when I was in those times of suffering, of experiences that were so rattling, I found ways to support myself and nourish myself so that my body felt safe, so that my mind felt safe. And sometimes it was just as going for a swim that would completely calm and shift my mindset. And I was learning each day something that would just soften me so I wasn't affected by my external reality. And it's learning about ourselves, because we're all different. Our situations are different, our emotions, our relationships, everything is so different. So we have to learn from ourselves and understand ourselves. And really tap into that awareness, that power that you'll make it through, because we all struggle. We all go through big things. And I feel like the happiest people are always the people who have struggled the most, because they've seen that other side of life, and now they embrace the beauty that has become, because brighter days do come, and they can embrace that with full open hearts, because they've grown from the mud. And it's like a lotus flower. The lotus starts in the mud, in their struggle, and it pushes up and it pushes through. It doesn't let the mud stop it from rising. But it doesn't know what's above the mud, but it still pushes. It grows up through the mud, through the water then, and then it blooms. It opens up to the sky, to the sun, and it blooms. And a lotus is one of the most sacred flowers that we know. It holds this ancient wisdom, this knowing, and I think because it has gone through that depth, through that mud, that struggle. So knowing that your struggle, that your suffering, is where your wisdom can come from, is like a lotus flower. It holds those codes of knowing where it's come from, and knowing that there's so much more to life, and holding that faith and that hope for those brighter days. But we can't just sit back and wait for those brighter days. You can't just have that trust that they will come, because they will come, but you've got to put work into yourself. I was lucky enough to have this calling for deeper knowledge, so I was always learning. I was always exploring different consciousnesses. I was always going to the depths of my mind to understand where it was coming from. And that definitely fueled me into who I am. But that came from my struggle, because I didn't want to feel like that anymore. I wanted to know why I was feeling like that. So I learnt and I grew, and like the lotus flower, I bloomed, because I pushed and I pushed through the mud with that deeper learning and that deeper knowing for myself. And my past, it still can create suffering. It still can create emotions within my life and my being. But I have the awareness of when an emotion comes up, I reflect, and sometimes when it's deeper than just a surface level emotion of an experience, it normally comes from my suffering. And that's when I do go and seek help from someone who may be a professional in that field of mental health or whatever it is you're dealing with. And that's been such a beautiful space to share with someone who has the tools of understanding. Because trust me, I didn't want to share. I didn't want to tell people, because there was experiences when people would tell me I was lying. So I was like, I'm not telling anyone, because they don't believe me anyway. But that all shifted, and it's finding the right people, finding the people who will understand you, who will want to listen to you and support you. Because we're all human, we all have these emotions, And it's being kind to one another, because you don't know what someone's been through. You don't know what they're dealing with in their mind. You don't know what they're dealing with at home. So it's showing up to people with the compassion, the love, the empathy. Because do you want to create suffering in other people's life? Do you want to be that moment where they go home and they feel even worse because something happened? Or do you want to be that light, that safe space for people to come to and feel nourished and alive? And you get to choose that. You get to choose how you show up to people, how you influence them, how you inspire them. Do you deplete people, or do you inspire them? It's through your words, through your actions. It's all a choice. And it's a choice how you show up when you are going through something that is creating suffering. How are you going to grow through it? It's all a choice. It's all in your hands. Life's in your hands. You get to create everything that is here. And I know there's a lot more depth and a lot more to say into this, but I think for today and for now, that's where we're going to go. But hey, you never know, next time we might go a little bit deeper into the mud. But I see you. I see all that you've gone through. And I think it's inspiring that you're still here. You're waking up every day, getting out of bed and still showing up to life. Because we know right now, life isn't easy. There's a lot of stuff going on everywhere. But if you can show up for yourself, support yourself, nourish yourself, and fuel yourself to be a better person every day, you will create a beautiful life for yourself that will ripple out to everyone. You're a strong, powerful being that brings so much to life. You can create anything you want. You can create the life of your dreams. You just have to start embodying it, start being it, start going out and finding it. Because sometimes it's not just where you are, in your house, in your space. You've got to go out and find it. You've got to learn it. So go out, be the seeker. Go and learn something. Go and discover something about yourself. Fuel that power of aliveness. Shake up your life. Renew it. To wrap this conversation up, we're going to take 3 breaths to ground into this moment, into this awareness that brighter days are here if you choose them. Okay. Breathing in. Breathing into your core, into your essence, knowing that you are a divine, powerful being of creation and you get to bloom and shine your light. Don't worry about anyone or anything. Worry about you. And breathe out. Breathing in, shining your light for the world, being that lighthouse, being that safe space for people to come to and feel inspired. Being that vessel of love that the world needs. And breathing out. Breathing in. Letting your struggles, your suffering, your trauma be your teacher, be your space of wisdom, that you can understand yourself in life even deeper. That you have this beautiful capacity for even more life. And breathing out. I love you all. You're all such amazing people. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. I value you. in this space that we get to share and connect through the social media space. I hope you have an amazing week, that you go out and you embody this awareness of aliveness, of the seeker, the dreamer, the adventurer. Life's the adventure. What sort of adventure are you gonna live? One inside your house, inside your room? Or are you gonna go out there and you're gonna go and fuel that adventure with new experiences? Okay, have a beautiful week. I'll see you on next time.